world-famous Butch and Bob Show.
World-famous Butch and Bob Show right here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio. And Bob, how's it going?
It's going well.
Going well, huh? Yep. Glad to hear it. All right. Well, we've got a special guest calling in on the phone with us right now. Who do we have, Bob?
Yeah, Tuesdays with Tillery. Gas State Senator Blake Tillery on the phone with us. And Blake, appreciate you calling in here on Tuesday. Session's a couple of weeks in, several more to go. What's on the agenda for you today?
Yeah, day 15, so I guess we're a little over a third of the way through. 5 bills, I believe, on the Senate floor today. Already started this morning. We had some folks up here who've been laying broadband lines and natural gas lines up here meeting with us earlier this morning. And then it's a forestry day up here as well, so I've already seen some of the folks from Rayonier outside this morning, had some of their big cut-off machines up out there. 5 bills on the floor today. We'll deal with everything from pulling the QR code off ballots, which is something we've talked about a lot in Wayne County, to the prosecuting attorneys qualification committee, the oversight committee that's going after district attorneys who either are not enforcing the law, or now it looks like maybe some that may have brought charges that maybe they shouldn't. And that's on the floor today. There's also a sales tax holiday concerning firearm safes and gun locks that's on the floor, and a bill that would expedite licenses for marriage and family therapists, counselors, social workers, if they have a license in another state, if they're a U.S. citizen or here legally and don't have any criminal record, where they could get their license within 30 days, because you've seen the issues we've seen with mental health care professionals and not having enough here in the state. So those are a few of the bills on the floor today. Should probably be a pretty long day. It seems like this year started off a lot faster than years have in the past.
Tell us more about this oversight committee for the district attorneys, that bill. What's that about?
That passed last year. The rules,
it did or did not?
It did.
It okay.
Passed last year. The rules were supposed to be set by the Supreme Court or approved by the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court declined to do those. So the legislature has now come back and is moving the rulemaking authority to a different area with an expectation. There's a budget line in the budget for them to start up immediately already, with an expectation that they'll begin their work expeditiously as soon as this passes the Senate and the House and is immediately signed by the governor.
So if you have a DA that you feel not doing his job, what do? You contact that committee?
So there's a process for folks to be, challenges would be the way to say it, I suppose, to be brought to the prosecuting oversight committee the same way it is in judges. We have that for judges. We have that in some ways for every other elected official with the State Ethics Commission. And then now that there'll be one over prosecuting attorneys. There's been one for judges for as long as I can remember. I think it might go back into the 80s. So you've seen at times when things have happened that judges felt, if someone felt the judge wasn't making rulings that were based in law, or there were other conflicts that existed, so that the judges were brought before a commission of judges, there will now be a commission that does the exact same thing for prosecuting attorneys, for district attorneys.
And that committee makes the decision whether they're removed or not? Is that how that works? Or
that's how that committee is set up, yes, sir. So, again, the rules weren't promulgated last year after the Supreme Court declined to promulgate the rules. So that rulemaking authority is being moved now, and I imagine that this bill will move through the General Assembly very fast and be signed by the governor.
And we've got State Senator Blake Tillery on the phone with us again. You're always dealing with the budget, so where's the budget process at this point?
So the House will come out of committee today with the little budget, the amended FY24 budget. So they had to publish it a little bit earlier today so they can come out of committee today. So I actually have it on my desk and read through the differences right now. So that'll come out of committee today. It'll go to the floor of the House tomorrow. We'll actually start our committee meetings tomorrow as well. 7 subcommittees that will roll through this week and probably have it on the Senate floor in about 14 days. In the meantime, there's other bills that are going to be moving. Today there's a tort reform bill that's gained a lot of publicity around the state that I have. It's my bill, and it will be in committee, in the Judiciary Committee today. It removes something called the direct action provision, where you can directly sue an insurance company. Some folks thought that wasn't fair. So we were able to come up with a compromise that says, hey, if the insurance company accepts service, then, which is just a legal process, then they could avoid being named in that proceeding. I've simplified it a little bit, but it's something that I think a lot of Georgia businesses have asked for. Insurance companies feel that it would be helpful for them to be able to stabilize rates. So we're going to try to pass that and see if we can't stabilize insurance rates. We're definitely going to be watching to see if those stabilize afterwards, though.
I saw Bill Workheiser Saturday here at the golf course. He said there's a lot of push for this gambling thing. He said our constituents aren't in favor of it, but he said there's a lot of bills on the floor. Says the Atlanta sports teams are pushing it pretty hard.
Yeah. You mentioned the golf course and gambling. Is something going on out there, Bob?
Entertainment purposes only.
Steak dinners,
Here
Blake. Steak dinners, Blake.
You want to bring Bill Workheiser's gambling to He just joins our 12:30 group. Yeah, we like having him. He's in our 12:30 Saturday group.
I tell you, he misses representing Wayne County. He tells us that all the time. He misses that group. He actually came when Leadership Wayne was up here last week. He stopped in the room for a few minutes. He's right. There's a lot of bills on the floor. One passed the Senate last week, sports betting bill. I didn't support it. Again, I totally understand folks telling me that it's going on all over the state. Why don't you collect the money? But there's a lot of things going on all over the state that I don't think we need to add to collect the money from. I will probably lose that vote in the legislature, but that is right now the side effects concern me a lot more than the potential benefits.
You can't see promos promoting the upcoming Super Bowl on Sportscast or Newscast or anything like that because they're all set up there in Vegas for this week without betting getting involved in it in some sort of way in the conversation. It's just absolutely amazing that 10 years ago that would have been a major sin in NFL, and now they're embracing it, holding the Super Bowl there in Vegas, and you've got betting firms that are major sponsors. It's just amazing how things have changed in 10 years with the NFL when it comes to betting.
Cash is king. You got to be able to return an investment for your investors, and so many teams are now owned by other corporate interests. That's not where I'm at. I understand that some of our constituents disagree with me on that. Perfectly fine. I understand some of our constituents support me on that, and that's fine too. But again, the side effects right now seem to outweigh any potential benefit, at least in the data analysis that I'm seeing.
Any other heated bills coming up that we need to be aware of? Any other hot topics on the legislative floor?
Oh man, that we've hit the big ones. There are several other ones that are going to roll through. Like I said, the biggest thing that I can tell you about this session is usually about day 15 things really start kind of ginning and moving. But we came out of the gate so fast this year. I mean, for already to have bills on across the floor on anti-Semitism, which again was based mainly in a lot of the things that are going on in the Middle East. The Prosecuting Attorneys Council, the investigative committees that we've had to open up here in Fulton County. Sports betting, as you've mentioned, is something that folks have tried for years and had trouble getting through. The tort reform legislation that's never, since 2004, has not been able to move anywhere. And then to have the House passing the budget out, the small budget at least, on day 16, it looks like. It's been pretty darn fast here. It's not a bad thing. It's just it's different than in the past, where things have kind of slowly rolled into a faster speed. These things didn't start slow. Now, I do think the House is going to just logistically have some issues soon. Their rules chairman passed away last week, Richard Smith, a really, really good friend of mine. He was one of the early risers here at the Capitol, and so he would be here about 6 or 6:30 with me and catch me at the elevator each morning. He passed away. He was from Columbus. Just a really good man. Actually had roots down in our area, born in Wrightsville, and was an ag extension agent down in Statesboro for a while. So they've got a logistical issue. They've got to figure out now who's going to be the gatekeeper of how bills get to the floor. So that probably slows them down a little bit. But I will tell you that folks are ready for a little bit of a slowdown. But again, some of the other things that have already come out of committee here are bills that would freeze or cap property tax increases, bills that deal with pulling back some tax credits on corporate measures. That those have already been dropped. They haven't made it out of the committee yet. But again, things you normally see the last 20 days, heck, you're already seeing them through one chamber in the first 20 days here. So that's probably good for us to get done and get home.
An issue that seems to affect, well, a lot of folks have opinions on one way or another, is the crisis at the border. And of course, our governor, Kemp, was down there with other governors. Did you hear some of his comments and basically saying the fact that every state is now a border state? Your comments?
I've heard that. You're right. That is quickly becoming the number one issue at the federal level. And because it's at the federal level, folks don't differentiate us at the state government from the feds a lot of the times. But there's some issues here in Georgia that we're going to have to handle too. I'm proud of the governor's stance with Texas. But hey, we also are going to have to look at some of the things that are going on in our own state in this process. Have no problem with anyone who wants to come here legally. Have no problem with H-2A workers who want to work here. But if a country's not going to enforce their borders, then are they really even a country?
Yeah, I know you'd like to hear from your constituents, so what's the best way to get a hold of you if somebody wants to get in touch with you?
Yeah, if there's something I said today that you liked or you hated, either one, feel free to give me a holler or a call. Up here at the office is 404-656-0089. They're going to immediately get you to Mr. Jordan or Miss Angela. They'll get the message to me. Or y'all feel free to call me or text me directly. My cell phone number is still 912-245-9915. So, yeah, you're right. I know you knew already. I have to run into a meeting with the Lieutenant Governor now.
I know you said you had to be brief. I appreciate you calling in on Tuesdays. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all for letting me. I hope y'all have a good morning.
All right, thank you, Senator.
All right, Senator Blake Tillery here on Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup. Appreciate him taking the time, and now he's got to do something that's almost as important, being on the Butch and Bob Show, and that's going and talking to the Lieutenant Governor.
You know, speaking of gambling, yesterday Commissioner Roger Goodell held his press conference with the media, and that was the big topic.
The state of the NFL.
How can he protect players? Because he says that's a no-no. Players aren't allowed to be involved, and several have been suspended. And he said if you bet on NFL games as a player, you're definitely kicked out of the league. So, but they said, how can you protect the dangers seeping in? Because, like I said, you can't see any NFL game. I mean, even Fox Sports, Terry Bradshaw and them are giving away. Is gambling 24/7 on these broadcasts. So,
there's money involved.
It's always about the money.
Always about the money. It's just amazing. Every time you turn around, they're talking about it.
It's just the commissioner just was in a bad. On one hand, he's saying they try to keep it all legit, but when you get all this money situation, people question whether it's legit or not. So it's just a mess. But I mean, you can bet on whether or not you can bet on the coin flip, how long the national. I mean, you can bet on anything in Vegas.
You can bet on anything.
It's crazy.
You can even bet on whether Travis is going to propose.
Exactly right. There's odds on that. He's going to propose after the game's over.
It's just so interesting in seeing all that going on there in Vegas with just everything is about the betting. The teammates. The two teams themselves, the players, coaches, the staff, everybody involved with the two teams cannot bet in any type of way. They can't even walk by a slot machine and throw a quarter in there and do that. They're forbidden to be the bet at all. And plus, both of the hotels that they're in are a ways away from the strip. They're ways out. Even though they still have the betting around them, they're trying to make it keep them away from that stuff as much as possible.
Andy Reid was asked what's the toughest part of the week. He said keeping his players away from the strip. he said they've been told, but you just don't know if they're sneaking out in the middle of the night.
Now, we've heard some stories from former NFL players what they did back when they were in championship games and Super Bowl games and stuff like that.
I mean, Chicago Bears are famous for their night in New Orleans.
Before
the game. So
well, there wasn't internet back then. Today, no matter where you go, you're going to be on camera, video, picture. It doesn't matter where you are.
Didn't seem to bother them there. They blew out New England, but the story is the Fridge and McMahon were out in the bars till about 5 in the morning before the game.
Oh boy!
There's all kinds of stories on players breaking curfew and doing things. Should be a great game Sunday, though. And then, like I said, the line hasn't moved. I mean, San Francisco's been favored by 2 since the 2 teams clinched their spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, then I heard this morning coming in our AM station, Fox Sports 1370 AM, The Buzz, that is now shifted the other way to Kansas City.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, so it's according to who's, if you're going by Vegas, if you're going by this betting group, it's pretty much even, just about. That's just according to who you're going to put your money down with. You're going to put it down where Kansas City is favored by 2.5, or where the 49ers are favored by 2.5. It just seems to bounce around between them two. I don't know why it's changing so much. I guess it's according to where the money's flowing. That's usually what sets those odds.
I just need to win the $10,000 Saturday night at the Touchdown Club draw, and then I'll have some money to decide where I want to put it on something.
If you win the $10,000, just put it in your
I'll
savings
put it in
account.
my pocket, exactly.
Don't bet on it. Don't use it to bet.
I'll use some of it to bet.
Oh, jeez.
That'd be nice to win that $10,000. Looking forward to Saturday night. That should be fun. I think there's less than 5. I checked yesterday. Less than 5 tickets available for that drawing. So if you
5
need a ticket,
tickets left
you
for
can
the
go by and
10,000.
see Katie. I said they have them sold by Saturday night. Everybody's invited to come on out. The band Dakota Duo is going to perform. Tootsie and his dad put on a good show. So it'll be fun. Looking forward to it Saturday night for the Super Bowl.
And we do want folks know that you can split up one of the tickets. There's been people who've won where you've had 5 people going for $20 each, or 4 for $25, or 2 for $50. So you don't have to fork out the whole 100 yourself. Tickets available there at with Katie at Prime South, and just a few tickets left, and perhaps maybe you'll be $10,000 richer, or maybe in the final 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever, and decide to split it and pick up a couple of grand or something.
Be nice.
Are you the type of person that would split if you got in the last 4?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
You'd definitely split. Knowing you're lucky, you'll split.
I mean, why would you not? I mean,
yeah. Putting in 100 to win $2 grand. Why wouldn't you?
That's a nice investment. So I'm not greedy. I'd be glad to split.
I'm glad to split.
I marked split on the ticket when I bought the ticket. There's a place that says split or not split, and I'll definitely check split.
And there have been people who have just definitely said no. I ain't splitting. I don't care if it's down to me and one other person.
Some people like to roll the dice, and I'm not that lucky. If I got a chance to take $2 grand, I'll take $2 grand in a heartbeat.
Yes, sir.
For a $100 investment.
Can you believe that? You get down to 2 people, and you're one of them, and knowing the fact that all you got to do is split, and you've gotten 5,000. So you have to say that in advance.
Yeah, it's marked on the ticket.
So it's on the ticket, so it doesn't matter what it gets down to.
Because you don't have to be present to win. So,
that's right. So you don't have to be present to win. That's right.
But most times people are calling people when they get to the last,
Yeah.
Do you want to split? Do you not want to split? What do you want
So
to
you
do?
still can change your mind.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the pressure might get to you if you see.
Yeah, the pressure might get to you if you get down those last 2. Yeah, I might want to take that 5.
Yeah, if one of your best friends is over there, you might want to say, no sense losing friendship over this. But it all takes place Saturday night at the country club.
And the money raised from all this, of course, goes to the Touchdown Club, which goes to help support the football team with all the things they do for the team throughout the course of the year and the season. A good chunk of that goes toward meals, pregame meals, postgame snacks, things of that sort, plus a lot of other items they buy for the football team to help them perform at their best.
So I'm not getting my hopes up. I've been doing 15, 20 years. It's been a donation every year. My name gets pulled off that board quickly.
The first one that's pulled gets win something, don't they?
They get their money back.
They get their money back. So if you're the first person pulled, you get your money back.
You get your $100 back.
That's what I'm saying. You get your $100 back.
You got more than
You got more than
One
one,
ticket,
then
right.
yeah. You get that ticket money
One
back.
year, my tickets went back to back.
Went
Talk
back
about
to back?
Talk about bad luck.
Holy moly! How did that happen, Bob?
I don't know. It went boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
That wasn't good. I'm not
So you got that first one done. You probably thought, good, got that one out of the way. You know, I got
Right.
one coming up later on.
Yeah, that didn't happen. So, but it's fun. Like I said, it is a donation, but like I said, you can always hope. There's
Yeah.
always a chance.
Yep.
So
Always that
got my
chance.
fingers crossed. It'd be nice to be in the money.
Okay. The senator said that it's Georgia Forestry Day up there at the Capitol today, and that Rayoniers and representatives are there. And there's so many days that
It's
are
not
up
Rainier,
there.
it's where I am now.
Hey,
You got to get the right name.
he said Rayonier.
I know. Everybody says Rainier.
I'm just repeating what he said.
I'm just trying to be politically correct. It's now called,
I know it's
now
Ryan.
called Ryan.
I'm just repeating our senator.
Just in case Kelly is listening. Make sure you get the
I
correct
was just
name.
quoting our
I
senator.
understand.
I was just quoting him.
It's hard not to stay.
That's what
Rainier.
he said.
So, maybe they'll go back to Rainier one day. I
No,
don't
they're
know.
going to stay with Ryan. Yeah, they might as well stay with it, you know.
That's a hard name.
Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan.
That's pretty easy to say.
Rainier sounds better.
Ryan.
I don't know.
Ryan. It's only two syllables. The other one's Rayonier. It used to be Rayonier, then it was ITT Rayonier, then it went back to Rayonier, and now it's Ryan.
Well,
So what else is going on, Bob? Boy, what a long
it's a
county
long
council meeting
like
last
I
night.
said. You know, they tabled that issue. You know, people remember that nightmare of 2008 when the reassessments went out and Rainier and that other timber company filed lawsuits because they felt their property was reassessed, and that dragged out for years. And Wayne County lost that lawsuit to the tune of close to $4 million, so they're trying to avoid that situation again. So
Is it something they have to have done?
it has to be done.
It has to be done by somebody?
Every so years, or every so often. I can't remember what the period of time is, but it's, you know, let's see, 2008. Now it's 2025. So
24.
how long ago has that been? So I'm not good at math, but it's time for reassessment. So they want this company to come in and do it, but like Andy Beaver says, we need some kind of insurance.
Must have to be done about every 15 years, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. But it's that time of year. But they tabled that
They're
issue
going to do it
last
for
night.
next year. Yeah.
So, but there's made a lot of purchases. Just a lengthy agenda last night.
Yeah.
City meets tonight. We'll have that report tomorrow. So their
Okay.
agenda's not as long as the county's agenda was last night. So
Anything important there on that city council meeting that people might have an interest of other than just regular
the
old
SRO
business?
officers, you know, there's a push to have a officer at each school, even the elementary schools. So the city and the school board are working together to try to provide that. So that's on the agenda tonight, the SRO officers. So
Okay.
request them in the budget for that position for the period of February through June. So also another pool construction change order. That's been a constant, trying to get that pool ready. And commissioner retreat on the agenda, so they discussed that. So
Okay.
that is a short agenda compared to last night's county agenda. So, but just because it's a short agenda doesn't mean it's going to be
No,
a short
they
meeting.
come up with those items with commissioners and stuff like that.
There is an
They can go-
executive session to discuss personnel, so
Okay.
that could be lengthy. So, not sure what that's about.
Okay.
But that's tonight at 7:00.
And Wayne County's regular baseball season begins.
The official season begins Monday in
Monday.
Appleton. They've got a scrimmage Thursday in Long County, but we're not broadcasting the scrimmage. We're broadcasting the first game
Who do
Monday.
we play and where on Monday?
Appleton County on Monday over in Baxley.
Okay.
It's a busy week next week. Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. 4 games next week.
Oh boy.
Got Monday in Appleton, Tuesday at home against Metter, Friday I think it's on the road at Jeff Davis, and Saturday at home against Thomas County Central. So that's 4 games next week to start the season.
Okay.
Once it starts, it doesn't. It's boom, boom, boom. 30 games.
30
home and away.
games. You start in February and you end in May. 4 months of
Right.
baseball.
If you get to the playoffs, which this team should.
Yeah.
A lot of excitement building for this baseball team. A lot of talent out there. It's going to be fun. Looking forward to it. But that'll be a big showdown Monday night over in Appleton County. And they've got two good pitchers. One kid's going to University of Tennessee. Dason Griffith's their quarterback. Not sure if we'll see him. We'll see the other kid. They've got another pitcher that throws up there in the upper 80s, low 90s as well. So Appleton's got a good baseball team. It'll be a fun game Monday night over in Baxley to start the season. Should be a packed house. Looking forward to it.
Should be. Wayne County, Appleton County is always a packed house.
Right.
It could be tiddlywinks and it still be a packed house.
It's going to be a good ball game. Looking forward to it.
All right.
Wayne County's baseball, I said they got a lot of talent out there, all the way down to the middle schools. I mean, next several years are going to be fun to call high school baseball. A lot of talent. Future's bright.
Okay.
A lot of good talent.
All
Arthur
right.
Williams is loaded.
Loaded, huh?
Loaded.
Oh, I know that we've done some of these recreation teams in the summer, and they've come back with state championships or second place and stuff like that. They're even in the rec level. So all that talent moves on up. All right, Bob, anything else on your mind this morning?
That's it. Have a good day.
All right. World famous Butch and Bob show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup, brought to you by O'Quinn & Associates, Murphy Builder Supply, Vans Barbecue, and First Southern Bank.